You've probably seen by now that you will need a value of 5 million between your coins and stash value for the projects to get the bonus permanent 5 skill points. Although this is a large sum, it's not impossible. Whether you are someone that has a ton of time to play, or someone who only gets in a few hours a week, I have a few methods that will work for everyone. Before we jump into the methods, there are 2 loadout options that I recommend for these, but always use what works best for you. The first is obvious, free loadouts. These are no risk, all reward. When you get out, you can sell everything you've found plus what came with the kit. I recommend trading in the free loadout augment for one of the uncommon augments at the clinic, as the free loadout augments sell for 100 and the others sell for 640. The only downside with these loadouts is that there's limited healing items. You don't get to choose your weapon, and you have no safe pockets. I have a video covering free loadouts and how to get the most out of them. It will be linked in the description below if you want to check it out. Even though there are those few downsides, most of the weapons that come with the free loadouts are pretty decent even at their low level with no attachments. And the other thing, which I already mentioned, is if you die, you're not losing anything. It didn't cost you anything to come into this raid. The second loadout is a Stitcher with a looting augment. The Stitcher is a really good weapon right now, especially once you get some attachments for it. The looting augment offers a higher carrying weight capacity and loot space. I usually run the MK1 looting augment until I find an MK2 looting augment, but you can always craft them or use those if you already have them. The MK2 offers even more space, weight capacity, and gives you 2 safe pocket spots and 3 extra spots specifically for holding trinkets. If you really want to maximize your loot, take the MK3 Looting Survivor augment. This one gives you great weight capacity, loot slots, allows you to use blue shields, and if you go down, staying still will regenerate your health. There is always the risk of a player finishing you off, but sometimes you're able to crawl to a nearby extract and get out. For the Stitcher, I like to upgrade it to level 4 and run uncommon attachments. You can always run better ones, but the uncommon ones offer very good bonus stats without costing a ton to craft, or the loss doesn't hit as hard if you die with it. The downside to this kit is that if you die, you are losing money, as you most likely purchased, crafted, or upgraded the items in the kit. The plus side is you get to decide your weapon, bring in the amount of heals you want, and can carry a lot more loot. I'd recommend bringing in a stack or 2 of the adrenaline shots with this one so you can get around the map way faster. And a Raider hatch key if you have them while running anything during the day. Raider hatches are a much faster and safer extraction point. Now that the loadouts are out of the way, let's talk about the looting methods themselves. The first one is the Lush Blooms event, which can be profitable for squads of all sizes, but solos and duos are going to have the advantage here. During this event, nature items spawn in abundance around the map in baskets. A solid run doing these can yield around 100k, sometimes more. The most efficient way to do this is to pull up an interactive map that shows where the baskets spawn and plan a path based on your spawn location. A good spawn and well-planned path can make these runs go as fast as 15 to 20 minutes if you are hitting all the spots in one raid to maximize earnings, allowing you to get around 3 runs per Lush Blooms event. If you'd like to play it safe, you can take an alternative approach and only loot the baskets in the immediate area where you spawned, but I only recommend doing this if you spawn in an area with a large abundance of the baskets, as shown in this picture here. Then get out. This can go as fast as 7 minutes. It'll only give you around 20 to 35k per run, but you can run close to 8 or more raids during this event. Although all the maps except Stellamontis have this event, the best maps for this are Dam Battlegrounds and Spaceport. Not only do these maps have more baskets, and they're closer to each other, but you can also hit some other buildings on the way, or if someone has already hit the baskets. After the run, sell all the plants you've collected, and do not recycle them into seeds. The items sell for more than the seeds will in the amount that they give you. With that being said though, do pick up seeds when you see them. The seeds sell for 100 coins each, and can be stacked up to 100. Next up is the Harvester event, which is very profitable for solos, duos, but not the best for trios. Why this one, you might ask? It's due to the loot the containers inside the Harvester hold. You technically don't even have to hang out and finish the Harvester if you don't want to. The containers in the Harvester hold an assortment of our components, which can be sold, as well as energy clips. The energy clips are what you're mainly here for. They can be sold for 1,000 each, and they come in stacks of 5, so that's 5,000 coins. Even if you only go there for the energy clips, you're looking at making about 60,000 coins per run, which can take anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes, depending on how fast you are with doing the harvester and whether or not you have a raider hatch key. If you guys are enjoying the video and would like to see more Arc Raiders guides, tips, and high tier gameplay, as well as content on other extraction shooters, make sure to subscribe. After you get out, sell all the loot except any batteries or advanced arc power cells you find. You can use 2 batteries and an advanced arc power cell to craft a stack of energy clips for profit. The batteries are worth 250 coins each, and the advanced arc power cell is worth 640, whereas a stack of energy clips is worth 5,000 coins. Talk about stonks. Batteries are about the only thing I'd recommend buying from Celeste for this reason. Everything else she sells either will sell for less or equal to the amount you could get for just outright selling the seeds. To craft the energy clips, you will need to have learned the Equalizer blueprint, which is obtained from completing the Harvester puzzle. If you have never run the Harvester, I have a guide on my channel explaining all the mechanics and how to complete it. This will be linked down in the description as well. A great loot run if you don't mind an increased chance of PvP is Stella Montis runs. These runs are profitable for solos, duos, and squads. There is a lot of rare loot on Stella Montis, and most of all the rares there sell for about 3,000 coins each. Keep an eye out for toolboxes, blue cabinets, backpacks, and security breaches, as these have a higher chance of having epics and rares. If you fill up around the area where you spawn, then quickly run to an extract or raider hatch, you can clear close to 80,000 in a 10-minute run, assuming you got pretty lucky with the loot you found. If you're lucky enough to spawn in or very close to them, the Assembly Workshop and Business Center are 2 of the best places to hit and get out, as these have a very large abundance of containers as well as loose loot. When you head to extract, I highly recommend avoiding the metro extraction if at all possible. Everyone likes to go there to get out, and people love to ride it out. I tend to try and use the one under the loading bay, as I rarely see people there. I'd recommend trying to avoid the medical research area if you really don't want to risk PvP. I don't know what it is about that area, but it gets very hectic very quick. If you'd like to run Stella Montis, but having a rough time with it, swing by our Discord, the Caliber Collective. We have a very large ARC community that are always running events like the Harvester, the Matriarch, and running duos and trios on Stella Montis. We also play a large assortment of other extraction titles, as well as Arma and other tactical shooters. A good tip, if you're running any map that can spawn the Matriarch or the Queen, is when those are up, there's a higher chance that those more high tier loot areas are going to be untouched, as most players are going to be going after the Queen and Matriarch. So keep that in mind when going for runs. Although night can provide more loot at times, going to one of these maps during the day when the Queen or Matriarch is up, you might actually get pretty lucky and be able to loot an entire high tier zone without any contest. A really good run I don't see a lot of people doing, which is crazy because not only is it safe, but in around 10 minutes you can come out with anywhere from 30 to 60,000 in loot. And that is hitting Rocketeer husks during electromagnetic storms or the husk graveyard events. The Rocketeer husks will drop broken Rocketeer drivers, which sell for 2,000 each, and have a chance of dropping intact Rocketeer drivers, which sell for 5,000. On top of this, you'll also find other rare ARC components. I say this is relatively safe due to the fact that I rarely see people running these. I've ran multiple electromagnetic storm raids back to back doing this, and only ran into 1 or 2 other players, and they were pretty chill. If you're doing this route, I recommend bringing in 10 to 15 adrenaline shots so you can hit all the husks around the map much faster. This is also best done as a solo. If you're going as a duo or even trio, you're not going to get very much loot out of this. Lastly with this is I highly recommend doing this on either Dam Battlegrounds or Bluegate, as these maps have the most husks. If you found any looting routes or methods I haven't mentioned, let us know about it in the comments, assuming you don't mind a few more raiders knowing about it. If you are a Chad or just bored with back-to-back 10-minute Lush Bloom runs, there is one more option to consider, although it cannot be done with free loadouts. This being taking out the large arc like Bastions, Rocketeers, and Bombardiers. Take in a heavy weapon and some wolf packs, take down 2 or 3 of them, then leave. Although the wolf packs are worth 5,000 coins, the amount of loot you'll get per one of these arc is way more. The loot you get from the Bastion, for instance, is around 60 to 80k. Making this a great loot run for solos, duos, and squads. A well-placed wolf pack can one-shot the Rocketeers, but not the Bastions or Bombardiers. For the Rocketeer, you want to throw it to where all the rockets from the wolf pack will either take out both front thrusters or both rear thrusters. If it doesn't go down right away, hit it with a few heavy rounds to finish it off. For Bastions and Bombardiers, you want to throw it up and behind them. This way, all the missiles will hit the exposed weak spots on the back. After 2 wolf packs, A few heavy shots or some well-placed impacts will finish the job. Make sure to take out the Bombardier's spotter drones before using a wolf pack. You don't want the missiles diverting to those. Other than that, it goes down the same way. I'd bring a heavy weapon, Stitcher or Venator for PvP that occurs, wolf packs, MK3 looting augment, smokes for looting, and a raider hatch key. Rats are super abundant right now, especially if they hear or see large arc being taken down. The fastest method for this is going to be Spaceport, as all of the arc spawns are not far from each other within the walls of Spaceport. Even doing this solo, you can take out 2 to 3 of these arc, loot up, and be out in 15 to 20 minutes. I would avoid doing things like key rooms and taking down the queen or matriarch if you're farming loot value. Key rooms have been buffed, offering better rewards for the higher tier keys, but you're almost guaranteed to have to deal with multiple teams and rats waiting for you to bring them the loot. So even if you do manage to find some really good loot in there, there's a much higher chance you're going to lose it on the way out. After all, most of these key rooms are very small, only have 1 or 2 entrances, and are very, very campable. The Queen and Matriarch just don't offer enough value for what it costs for you to take them down, unless you manage to obtain all the loot for you and your squad. A little bonus run that I like to use, for those of you that have watched the video till now, thank you for that, is running through research and administration on Damn Battlegrounds. The whole second floor has tons of loot, but the lockers near the back wall and in these rooms are great. I always come out with at least 1 epic and multiple trinkets, especially during night raids. I've had multiple runs through here where I've come out with 4 or 5 epic trinkets. I mentioned before about crafting energy clips. Aside from those, do not bother crafting any items to sell. You get the same amount or more for selling the items you'd use to craft those items, which is very weird, but that's just how it works. That's everything for this video, guys. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe and leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Good luck out there, Raiders.